You know that feeling when you scroll through a sea of VR headsets, see a dazzling resolution claim, a massive field of view, and the price tag looks almost too good to be true? Then you finally order, set it up, and realize the experience is more meh than mind-blowing because the headset doesn't play nice with your PC, or the lenses never quite line up with where you're looking. I've been there, and that's why I'm doing this deep dive on the Pimax Crystal Super, so you can decide if it's the breakthrough you've been hoping for or another pricey disappointment. Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. First off, the category we're talking about here is the upper-tier consumer VR headset, the kind of gear that promises to replace a traditional monitor for flight simulators, racing rigs, and immersive gaming sessions. The big selling points are always the numbers: 3840x3840 per eye, a 127-degree horizontal field of view, and a crazy 138 degrees in labs mode, and a variable refresh rate that can push up to 90 Hz. Those specs read like a billboard, but the real question is how they translate when you actually strap the thing on, fire up a game, and try to keep the headset on for more than a few minutes. The first thing I noticed during setup is the inside-out tracking that Pimax touts. The headset has 4 built-in cameras, so you don't need external base stations right out of the box. In practice, the cameras lock onto the controllers and your head quite reliably in a well-lit room, and the initial calibration takes just a couple of minutes. That's a huge win for anyone who doesn't want to invest in a lighthouse system or spend space on external sensors. However, the cameras struggle in low light or when there's a lot of reflective surfaces, a common issue if you're gaming in a dimly lit basement or you have a glossy desk. In those cases, the tracking can jitter, causing a subtle but noticeable drift that can ruin the immersion, especially in fast-paced flight sims where precise head movement matters. One of the biggest practical trade-offs with the Crystal is the sweet spot of the lenses. Pimax uses glass aspheric lenses that, on paper, give you a massive clear area without the gaudre effect you see on cheaper plastic lenses. In real life, the sweet spot is indeed generous. You can move your eyes around the screen and still see crisp detail, which is a relief if you wear glasses or have a larger IPD. The headset automatically adjusts IPD from 58mm to 72mm, so most users won't have to manually dial anything in. The downside is the headset's physical bulk. Because the lenses are larger to accommodate that 127-degree view, the headset sits farther from your face, which can make it feel a bit heavier on the nose bridge, especially during longer sessions. If you're the type of gamer who plays in 2-hour bursts, you'll probably be fine, but marathon sessions could become uncomfortable. Now let's talk about the visual fidelity, because that's what the Crystal promises to deliver in spades. I ran a couple of benchmarks with Microsoft Flight Simulator and Assetto Corsa Competizione. In both titles, the 3840x3840 per eye resolution eliminates the screen door, effect that many 90 Hz headsets still suffer from. The image is razor sharp, and the wide field of view really makes you feel like you're in the cockpit. In Flight Sim, the horizon stretches far beyond what a typical 110-degree headset offers, giving you a more natural sense of speed and spatial awareness. The variable refresh rate also helps. The 90 Hz mode keeps motion blur low during rapid maneuvers, while the 72 Hz mode is less demanding on your GPU and still feels smooth enough for narrative-driven games. But here's a hidden cost that most spec sheets don't mention: the GPU power you need to actually drive that resolution. To hit native 3840x3840 at 90 Hz, you're looking at a high-end RTX 4080 or better. If you're still on a 3060, you'll be forced to lower the rendering resolution or accept frequent frame drops, which completely negates the visual advantage. The headset itself doesn't throttle the image. It will display whatever your PC feeds it, which can mean a stuttery experience if you're underpowered. So the value proposition only holds if your rig already meets that performance ceiling. Who should consider buying the Pimax Crystal? If you already own a high-end gaming PC, spend serious time in flight simulators, racing titles, or you're a VR content creator who needs the widest possible field of view and pixel density, this headset can be a game changer. The large sweet spot means you don't have to worry about popping out of the focal area when you look around, which is a huge ergonomic win for those long simulation sessions. Also, if you're already using Lighthouse stations for other VR gear, you can expand the crystal's tracking to that system and get rock-solid positional accuracy, which eliminates the low light tracking issue I mentioned earlier. On the flip side, if you're a casual gamer,